So, ooh,
Okay.
so Terry, you're gonna do, okay, I could have sworn we did the assessment of the administrative agent presentation in January, but you're saying we never did it, right?
Not at planning council. Planning council, you guys said you wanted to do it in February, and then in February, you said you wanted to do it in March.
Okay. I mean, this is going to be my third time hearing it, so that's probably why I'm confused. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to just quickly present it when I do my committee report?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
Lucy, are you cool? Can I put you in the breakout room?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and make a breakout room. And I'm gonna put B and maybe I'll just put us in there. I'll put Roseanne in. Okay. All right. So if everybody could join the breakout room that gets the invitation, that would be cool.
Hi, B. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
Good, good. No complaints. Thank you. Thank you.
Good, good. You look lovely in yellow.
Thank
That
you.
looks good on you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm still in my work clothes because I come right from the office to come home.
Yeah.
I work from home on Wednesdays, but yes, still in my work clothes. But
Oh, you look good.
thank you.
How you doing, Kathleen?
I'm doing good. A little nervous because tomorrow I go for cardio cath.
Oh,
Oh,
that doesn't sound like fun. I hope everything works out.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't find anything.
Yeah, really.
well, we're also hoping they don't find anything. We're hoping for you.
Yeah. I got to be there 6:30 in the
Oh,
morning.
wow.
That's so early. Wow.
Yeah, I'm the first one.
Well, that's good though. You get it out of the way, sometimes that's best. That's the better way.
Yeah. And the participants will be all fresh. They won't
Exactly. They'll
be
have their
tired.
morning cup of coffee. They'll be wide
Exactly.
awake.
Yep.
Are they looking for anything specific, or is this just a routine checkup?
The doctor wants to know what the pressure is in each chamber,
Ah,
the 4 chambers. And they're saying the only way they can do it is through the cath.
doesn't sound like fun, but necessary, unfortunately. Well,
Yeah.
hope everything works out.
Yeah, I've had it done twice, 2 other times.
Ooh.
One in 2017, and they found nothing. And then back in, let's see, 1969, 70, when I was like 11. It was before they had echocardiograms, and that's how they used to check things out.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So then I had a heart murmur, and they wouldn't let me take gym in school until I got checked out. And it showed I had a floppy pulmonary valve, which was causing the murmur.
From what I understand, that's quite common. A lot of people seem to have that, but it doesn't really interfere in their everyday living.
Yeah. I have irregular EKGs all the time. So
There's always something wrong with us that they gotta fix, right?
Yeah. As long as it keeps on ticking. Oh.
Exactly.
And my granddaughter can walk now. She turned
How old
one
is
and
she?
she's one and she turned one February 3rd.
Oh, how
Aw,
wonderful.
I love it.
So now she can walk unassisted. But she's like top heavy and she tumbles a lot.
Don't worry, she'll be proficient in it in just a few more days.
Literally, literally.
But from this point on, they just shoot up and grow up so quickly. So
I
enjoy
know.
every moment. My God.
Time just moves like so fast.
Yeah,
Too
it does.
fast. Too fast.
Yeah.
My one grandson is starting college in a few months, and it's like, oh my God, my baby. It's
How many grandkids do you have, B?
just two
Just the two?
grandsons.
Okay.
And the oldest is 18 and the
Mhm.
youngest is 10.
Oh,
You know, it's I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around that he's going to high school and I mean, yeah, high school, college. So graduating high school, going to college, you know, starting his whole new life on
Yeah.
his own.
Like in the real world. Like,
The real world. Yeah. Yeah. So,
how many
and
grandkids do you have, Kathleen? Just the one?
Now I have 3 with my son, and then I have step grandchildren. I have 3, 4, four, 4 steps.
Okay, okay.
so altogether 7. Wow.
7, that's nice. I mean, I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I'm
And you
not close
only
with the
have the one
steps.
granddaughter, right?
yep, I have the one. My daughter has stepkids too, so I have 3 actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I was telling them at work, we had her, my husband and I had her last night, and I woke up at 2:30 this morning because I forgot she was in there with us in the bed, and she started crying. So I was like, what is going on here? And I'm like calling my daughter because she fell asleep on the couch down here. And I'm like, come get your baby, because I don't have the, like grandma brain is different than mommy brain. Like, when you're a mom, you're like awake all the time. And I
Yes.
just like, I can't do this. It's too much to think about. It's too much. But yeah, but no, but it's definitely interesting. It's an interesting like life, to
Yeah.
have someone that I'm like not responsible for, but I get to enjoy, having her, like, you know what I mean? And I can just
Exactly. And you can still get to go home by
exactly
yourself.
look,
And
not me. They live with us, so I get to send them downstairs. But still, but it's different. Like I don't have to make like decisions for her
yes.
or, have that responsibility that you have as a parent where they rely on you for everything. So it's very interesting. It's also interesting to see my daughter as a mother, like that's interesting.
Yeah, it makes you realize you must have did something right.
Well, that's what it is. Like, I get to see all the best parts of me when she's like with her. So I like that,
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
different.
it's great.
But I enjoy it so much though. I do. Yep. She's what? She'll in 3 days, 4 days, 3 days, she'll be 10 months.
Oh God.
So yeah. So
Wow.
every bit of 10 months.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to like the high school and college. Like I'm not like I know it'll be here, but I'm like trying to, enjoy every moment.
Well, that's it. You've got to enjoy every moment,
Yeah.
because, in a blink of an eye, it all changes and
Hmm.
all of a sudden they're adults.
Well, yeah. It's very interesting. But I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
I do too. I mean, being a grandparent was just magnificent, being able to enjoy them and listen to them and, just pamper them and be able to still go home and say, they're yours.
Here, have it. Have at it.
Yep.
Yep. That's probably the best part. Like when I don't have to like, except for the rare occasions I forget I have her, but like, I don't have to get up in the middle of the night for feedings, I don't have to change diapers. I can just hand her off to her mother or her dad, like there's freedom in being a grandparent and flexibility.
That it is. But there's also so many different rewards. It's so different in the fact that, you walk through the door and you hear, Grandma, I love you, And being a parent, you were the disciplinary, you were the nursemaid, you were too busy trying to make sure everything worked right. And with being a grandparent, you don't have all those worries. It's like, just enjoy.
Yeah.
I
Like
love it.
home, she adores my husband. She adores her granddad. Like he walks in the door and she gets this biggest like toothless smile. Like it's like the greatest thing to see. Like, and I just love it. She just gets so excited, And so
Yeah.
it's,
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
love it. I love it.
Hi, Steve.
Hi,
Hi,
Steve.
how's everybody doing?
Good.
Well,
Hey,
thank
Dennis.
you.
It was a wet day out there in case management land today.
Hey, Dennis.
Hi.
Yeah, New Brunswick was quite left a lot to be desired.
Well, I don't know if anybody had the same problem, but our internet at work went down for 4 hours. We
Oh
Wow.
were
no.
without anything. The phones wouldn't work because they're connected to, it was just a hot mess. It was awful.
Yeah,
I don't
thankfully
know
that
if
has
it
not
was in New
happened in a
Brunswick.
while.
I'm sorry?
No, I was saying thankfully that has not happened for us in a while. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And then you all can't get careware when we have, power outages or, systems that go down.
Well, the nice thing was the phones didn't ring because they're
They
connected
couldn't.
to the internet, but still we couldn't get any work done either way.
Yeah, it's terrible when that happens.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. I think we're going to give a few more minutes before we start, just so make sure that we have a few more people joining.
Both Tanya and Don are going to be a few minutes late, and yeah. And I told you about everyone else in the other meeting.
There's Ed.
And there's Eddie. Woohoo!
Hi, Siobhan.
Eddie, like, don't get too excited. You're muted. It's *6 to unmute.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I remember there was some problem with my audio last time. I think you couldn't hear me. Hopefully it'll work.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right, it's 6:03. I think in the interest of respecting your guys' time, I think we should go ahead and get started. So for the purposes of the minutes, our meeting is starting at 6:03. Gonna go ahead and read the welcome statement. Welcome to the HIV Health Services Planning Council meeting of the Middlesex-Somerset-Hunterdon Transitional Grant Area. We usually meet at 6 p.m. on the first Tuesday of each month. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend. We request that everyone adhere to the ground rules on the back of the agenda. Thank you. sunshine law. The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act of NJ SA 10-4-10 and Bill A3850 has been complied with, and shall be entered in the minutes of this meeting. So for teleconference etiquette, you guys already kind of know how we do. So if it's your turn to speak, please feel free to unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand and I can call on you. For those who are on the phone, which I don't think we have anybody today, it's *6 to mute and unmute and *9 to raise your hand. So we're going to go ahead and start with our introductions. And so I'll go first, and I have a little icebreaker for us. So my name is Minu Christian. I am the program coordinator at Eric B. Chandler Health Center. Also, I am the chair of the full council, as well as the chair of QUISP committee. Got to keep it straight. I do want to say I want to apologize if you hear dog noises or cartoons in the background for another 15 to 20 minutes. I apologize. And if I put myself on mute to yell at somebody. So the icebreaker that I want to start off with. So I don't know if you guys know, but Sunday is daylight savings time. You guys lose an hour on Sunday, which kind of made me a little upset today because I like fall back. I don't like spring forward. But I got to thinking it was inspired by Sunday. So what my question would be, well, what does a lazy Sunday look like for you? So I'll go first. My lazy Sunday would be binge watching my favorite show. Food appears magically on a plate when I need it in front of me. And there's no work on Monday. And I get to spend the whole day in my pajamas. All right. So with that, if you could introduce yourself and tell me your icebreaker. Kathleen, you're up first.
Okay. I'm Kathleen Donahue on the Planning Council and the Mentor Outreach Committee. And my lazy Sundays is pajama day and just watching Netflix and movies and takeout or order in or whatever. That's about it.
Thank you, Kathleen. You and I are hanging out on Sundays then. It's like the exact same thing. Lucy, you're up next.
Hi, Lucy Counts, Middlesex County Office of Human Services. I don't really have lazy Sundays, which is probably a problem, right? But I guess the best thing I would do on a lazy Sunday is doing absolutely nothing, because the weeks are long enough.
Sounds lovely. B?
Hi, I'm B. Franklin. I'm a substance abuse counselor at New Brunswick Counseling Center. And my lazy Sundays vary depending on the time of year. Usually in the winter time, it would consist of, binge watching something interesting on TV, having something in the oven, just cooking up something or baking something. In the summer, grilling something. But like, if I like rainy or snowy days to be able to sit and read quietly and just watch everything on the window and just kind of absorb that moment of quietness and nature and just leave me alone kind of thing. So that's my lazy Sundays.
Sounds great. Dennis.
Okay, so my lazy Sunday is similar, except it's more sleep related. So I sleep late, I get up, have a little snack, put the TV on, and then I take a nap. Then I get up, have another snack, and then I take another nap. So it's pretty much napping and sleep and eating, like on and off while watching TV. And I don't wear pajamas. I would say pajamas, but I don't wear pajamas. So I don't get dressed, put it that way. Oh, I'm Dennis. I didn't even introduce myself. I think I know everyone. I'm Dennis. Ryan White Program Coordinator from the VNA, and a person living with HIV. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Steve.
Hi, everybody. My name is Steve Pitts. I'm a medical case manager with the VNA. Lazy Sunday. I'm like Lucy. I don't have too many. Usually my weekends are pretty full. If it's in the summer, I try to get out on a golf course. That's my big way to unwind physically and get some fresh air and some exercise. This time of the year, I would probably go out and have a nice dinner somewhere. And then at night, there's a new series called Regime with Kate Winslet, which is great. And then I'd watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. And then I'd watch Late Night with John Oliver. And that would get me to about midnight. And then I'd probably turn on some sitcoms and sit here and write some blogs or emails to my friends.
I like John Oliver too. Sounds great. Cheryl. Cheryl, can you hear me? Yeah. You have to unmute yourself. You're not unmuted. Try again. There you go.
Okay. Sorry about that. First of all, I would sleep in for as long as possible and hope my daughter won't bother me. When holding his two arms, sometimes he usually cooks for me.
Cheryl, you're kind of breaking up.
So that's nice. That's what I'm expecting. I watch these. Watch TV all day and probably be. Okay.
Cheryl, maybe
Yeah,
try turning off the camera.
Sorry.
If you turn off the camera, it'll help your bandwidth.
Okay, I think she might be a little frozen. Cheryl, we'll come back to you, or you can type it in the chat. I don't know if you heard Terry's suggestion to turn off the camera. Okay? I'll come right back to you after the next person. Just, okay? All right, Roseanne, you're up next.
Everybody, Roseanne Marone, Program Coordinator, Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. I guess a lazy Sunday varies per season, but it always starts with a couple of cups of coffee. Same thing, I try more in the winter to, do some, not food prep, but at least cook something somewhat healthy. And then, like in the winter, yes, this winter I probably never watched as much TV as I did. I don't have the streaming thing, so I watch silly things like the History Channel and the Food That Made America or something. And then in the summer, I would probably, be hanging out at the beach. So, thank you.
Terry.
Hi. For me, lazy Sunday starts on Saturday. And it's and it's just a weekend where I really don't do anything or leave the house. Not leaving the house. For somebody who likes to travel, that I really relish when I can have long stretches of not even leaving the house.
That sounds great. We're going to go back to Cheryl to see if she can talk. Cheryl, go ahead if you can.
Hi.
Oh, perfect. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Oh, good. I was just typing it out too. Hold on 1 second. Okay. TV all day. My 16-year-old daughter Naomi does dishes. Carlton, when he's normal, not, got the two arms, he cooks my meals, and maybe he'll take me and Naomi to the movies and to a restaurant. Oh, did I say TV? Oh, yeah, TV. Okay.
Thank you, Cheryl. Siobhan?
Hi, Siobhan Cato, Zufo Health Center Program Director, and I'm with Dennis. I just want to sleep, eat, sleep, and eat.
Thank you. Vanessa?
So yeah, lazy Sunday consists of a lot of silence. So I would say I'm gonna be on that, like a lot of silence and a lot of coffee, definitely. And also, the lights off the entire day. Like I don't want any lights on. Yeah, just kind of wind down that way.
I like that. I like the coffee people too. Yep, that's me. Ed, you're up.
Hey everybody, Edward Kelly, Hackensack Meridian Health, Ryan White Medical Case Manager, and I'm a guest and also a person living with HIV. All right, now my lazy Sunday will be pretty much like everybody else, stay in bed a little bit later as long as my cats will allow me because, sooner or later you have to feed them, they're not happy. And then I get up and have some coffee and relax and then retire to my nice cozy bed with a book. I like to read on a lazy Sunday.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Jay.
Coffee and reading.
Hey guys, a lazy Sunday for me is like any other lazy day for me. I don't leave the house. That's it.
They all sound lovely, all your plans. I feel like Steve was the most productive on his lazy Sunday. But thank you for sharing. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and read the mission statement, and then we'll follow up with a moment of silence to remember those living with HIV, those we've lost. The mission of the Planning Council is to establish and implement a comprehensive plan for the organization and delivery of HIV-related services, as described in the Ryan White HIV/AIDS Treatment Extension Act of 2009. And now we'll have our moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Terry for the roll call.
There we go. Okay, Roseanne Marone. Here. Manu Christian.
Here.
John Marcinkevich.
Here, sorry.
Hello, sir. Jay Gavin.
Here.
Lara Dykstra. She's still out until tomorrow. B. Franklin. Where'd she go?
Here.
There's hand up. Okay. Carlton Bruce. I already talked to him today. He's absent. Kathleen.
Here.
Jose Roman. I don't see him. Cheryl Bruce here. Oh, you have to say here. I'm sorry. Or raise your hand. Cheryl. I don't know if she, okay, thank you. That was perfect. Siobhan Cato.
Present.
Kelly Fowler. We had an email from her. She's stuck in traffic, but she'll be hopping on eventually. Kareem Darwish.
He's out. He's on. He's away.
Okay. Tanya Williams is planning on attending, but at present she's late. And Vanessa Herrera.
Yep, here.
Okay. We have
So-
quorum.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let John speak too. John, would you like to introduce yourself? And our icebreaker was what you like to do on a lazy Sunday.
Okay, John Marcinkevich. I am the vice chair, or I forget what I am right now, of the members mentorship and outreach committee, a consumer and advocate and a member of the Plan Council. And on a lazy Sunday, I like to sometimes watch TV and sit inside. Unless it's nice out, then I like to go outside and feel the sun.
Thank you, John. All right, so now we're gonna the minutes were sent to you all. We're gonna take a moment to quickly review the minutes, and if there's a motion I'll entertain that. Yes, Jay?
I'd like to offer a motion that we accept the minutes as is, and thank Terry for sending them out to us also.
Thank you, Jay. Anybody want a second? I'm looking.
I'll second.
Thank you, B. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, it looks like it was unanimous, I think. All right, yep. Motion carries. Okay. So you guys were also sent the agenda. Are there any changes, corrections? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this month. Yes, Roseanne?
I make a motion to approve?
Thank you, Roseanne.
I second it.
Thank you, Jay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna hand it over to Lucy for the administrative agent report.
Hi again. A few things. So all of our providers have gotten their partial award letter. We awarded funding for March, April, and May of 2024. We don't know when we're going to get the remainder of funding, so we're hoping that will be enough at this point. So that's what we have there. The two service categories, psychosocial support and substance abuse, did receive lower allocations just based on what Planning Council had voted on at priority setting and day-to-day in September, I believe it was. But other than that, we tried our best to keep the other areas as close as possible to 2023 with, the funding that we have right now. So hopefully when we meet with our project officer later this month, he'll be able to give us more, give us something about when we can receive, expect to receive the remainder. So there's that. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly is the food program. I did announce some time ago that we are no longer contracting with Elijah's Promise just because they don't have the capacity to provide the service to us. So I did reach out to our project officer about implementing a gift card program, which they said was fine. We have to, well, the original plan that we had, he sent it back for us to make some changes, but I'm hopeful that we will be able to execute this within the next week or so. What we're looking to do is we're probably going to get gift cards for ShopRite, Aldi, maybe Lidl, and maybe Trader Joe's. What we're trying to figure out is Terry's helping me do a map of where these stores are located within our 3 counties so that try to make it most accessible for our clients since they will be having to do their own food shopping. So we don't want to give somebody a like a ShopRite gift card if there's not a ShopRite closest to them. So the plan is to try to get an so we're going to start small, but try to get for a number of different stores, and then based on where the client is, that's where he or she will get the gift card for, or that individual will get the gift card for. So I can give you like a synopsis of what it's going to look like, and then I am working on finalizing the language, making sure that it's clear, and then it'll be going out to the case managers. Well, actually, we're going to discuss it with the case managers next week, and then everything will be sent out to all of our case management agencies. So essentially what will happen is the case managers will still be responsible for making the referral. It will have to be in Careware. It will come to my office. Terry is going to train staff in my office to work with Careware to do the referral, because that's just a task that I can't add anything else to my plate at this point in time. So Melissa has allowed me to assign somebody to do that. And what'll happen is, her name is Brittany. Brittany will only be responsible for getting the referral, and it will be sent out. There'll be a form letter going to the clients. It will say Middlesex County Human Services, so there'll be no identifying information. It'll be a form letter with the gift card, and then the thing Terry just put into the chat. What we want to do is also throw in like a little, we're working on creating a pamphlet, essentially, you know, how to shop, how to maximize your resources, you know, when you're at the grocery store. So, which is what we kind of want the case managers to help us with next week. We want to give them, you know, because, you know, some people go to the store, they spend the money, but we want them to use it, you know, purposefully. So we're going to include something in that as well. And then everything will be sent out via certified mail, so that that will be our ability to track the receipt or not of said gift cards. What'll happen is for this month, everything will be sent out at the end of the month, and then it'll look different in April, just once we have everything together. And just kind of like by way of like an FYI, I'm not sure how people, you know, people's understanding of it. It's not easy to just purchase bulk gift cards. So we have a whole process we have to go through to purchase the bulk gift cards. You know, there's like reporting stuff that has to happen. And so what will happen is when we send out, or when I send out the information regarding the referral process and what it looks like, each agency will be told how many slots, for lack of better terminology, each individual agency has. It's not going to be the same across the board, obviously, because some agencies have 20 clients and some have way more than 20 clients. So we want to be able to distribute those equitably across the board. So that's the plan as it stands right now. And it should be set in stone, everything ready to go by next Friday. Like I said, Terry's going to train my staff person on how to do careware, how to get the referrals, how to send the information out. And then we'll probably have somebody else help her do it in March, just because it's, you know, just for time's sake. But everyone who is referred will have something by the end of the month. And what we're looking to do now, just based on the dollar, the funding that is available in that category, right now what we're looking at is gift cards in increments of $75. So we know that's not a lot, but we also, that's why we're adding the extra flyer about how to make it, you know, how to stretch your coins, you know, how to look for coupons, how to comparison, you know, not comparison shop, so to speak, but, you know, maybe you don't get Kellogg's, maybe you get ShopRite brand, you know, like that kind of thing. And the reason, you know, there was a question before about like other places like Walmart and Target. And the definition is not that clear. So we're going to like table those stores for now, just so we can just make sure that we're on the up and up. And if we get something different, then we'll look to do that, you know, going forward. And then the one thing I want to point out, because I know it will come up, is and by we, I mean Terry has done like a little bit of research for me, and across the board, in terms of the 3 stores that we're looking to use, in terms of pricing, they're comparable across the board. Like there's like cents difference in what the cost of things, you know, are. So it's not, so someone going to ShopRite, you know, it'll be different, but it won't be more expensive at ShopRite versus at the outlet. It just may look a little bit different. So we've been doing like price comparison in that way to make sure that wherever the gift card is for, the dollars can be stretched as much as possible right now. I think that's all I have right now.
Anybody have any questions for Lucy? Thank you, Lucy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just want, can you just touch a little bit more on the psychosocial? You said the budget was cut. How
Yes.
is that going to look as far as the consumer is concerned?
Well, that depends on the agencies. So the agencies that provide that service were told what that dollar amount is going to be. And so they'll have to work with that within, to the best of their ability, within those parameters. Like I said, I understand it will be, you know, difficult to do so, but I think it's also important to, you know, let everybody know that when we had priority setting, Planning Council decided to decrease the allocation. So, you know, when that decision was made, I think everyone was aware that there would be a potential impact to what that service provision would look like. So I can't answer that question for you, because I don't know, you know, each agency has to work with what they have to try to support, you know, continue to support the service to the best of their ability, if they can, you know. So I don't know what that would look like. It would look different at each agency.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Lucy? I would like the brochure for myself so I can grocery shop better. Thank you for that resource. That'll be useful. I did have one question actually. Lucy, so is this what we are to expect for the year? Like this is how food vouchers will be done for the year, or what time frame are we looking at?
Yes, I'm hoping I can make it work. So, right now it is, at least for March, I'm calling it a pilot for March because I know or at least March and April, I'm calling it a pilot because I know there'll be some kinks to work out. I know I know there will be some hiccups. I can't necessarily anticipate I can't anticipate what they would be. So I kind of want to be able to work through them. So at least for March and April, we'll see what it's looking like. And then if we need to change it or adjust it one way or the other. So I can better answer that question for you by April 30th.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Steve,
welcome.
you have a question?
Yeah, Lucy, based on all that, I understand everything that you said on that, but each agency is going to have a different number of slots based on the caseload and the need and so forth, as you explained. Just ballpark, can we expect to have about the same number of slots we had before based on using the cards and a $75 denomination? Are we going to be in the same ballpark with the number of slots we would have, or is that going to change too?
I'm still working out math. I have to back into it. So I don't know right now.
Okay.
Don't expect an increase. That I can tell you for
No,
sure. Yeah, but I want to, the goal is to, some agencies some case management agencies may see an increase, just because we've been able to see over time that their client population is using this service. And so I don't know that in all instances it was necessarily equitable across the board in the first place. So I need to look at that and back into the numbers, since it is going to be costing us more to provide this service. Yeah, so once I figure that out, when I get back to the office next week, then, everyone will know.
Thank you.
Kathleen, you have a question?
Yes, so now with the food and the gift cards, is that each family that's in need will get once for the month? Or is it whenever they need it?
No, one time a month.
And then if there isn't any available at that agency, can we have like a backup of what churches have pantries?
Yep, all that is going to, yep, we're giving all that out. We have the it used to be called McFoods, but it's now called Replenish, the food bank in Middlesex County. So we have resources that we're also making available, but we're trying to, in making them available, we're trying to make it user friendly. Like, we don't want to have people with 100-page booklet for things that may not be available to them. We want to be as general as possible, without being so specific. So like, one of the examples is there's a church, but it only gives out food on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, right? So, but then it may only be for residents in that particular city. That may not be useful for our overall population. So we're going to be, like I said, we're going to be putting stuff with the mailers, with the gift cards, but we're also going to distribute that to the case managers for them, to distribute to their clients as they, see fit. If somebody comes in, you can that can be handed out. But we're trying to, in doing all that, we also don't want to overwhelm people, because we do recognize that giving somebody, like I said, a 100-page booklet may not be useful at that point. So there's some things that we're looking to, I guess streamline is the best word, to make it as user-friendly as possible, I guess. So yes.
Roseanne?
Yeah. So is the county gonna mail the gift card to the families?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it was purposely designed that way. Also because, and also trying to make sure that things are not identifiable. So there'll be no reference to Ryan White in the form letter. It will be on Office of Human Services letterhead. It will be in an Office of Human Services envelope. There'll just be, there'll be a gift card, but there'll be stuff in there, but there won't be any reference to who is the payer, the provider of said services. It'll just be something from Office of Human Services. So, the assumption is that case managers tell their clients, that they will be receiving referrals. I mean, that they will be referred for the food program. Not next week, Vanessa, the following week.
Lucy, I understand there'll be paperwork involved, and that's understandable. But will the client have to sign anything or return anything or provide receipts or anything like that?
No, that's why we're sending it certified mail, so that the card will come back to me, or to my coworker in my office. That's how we're going to track it. No one has said that's an issue, so I'm going to do it. That's how we're going to. That's the only way possible to track it. Because the person at my office, this is like, added responsibilities for an existing position. So she just wouldn't have the capacity to be able to do like that level of follow-up.
That makes sense. Okay.
But
Thank you.
I also, you all talk to your clients. So you would know if you told them they were going to get a gift card and they didn't get it, I'm sure they would call you.
I'm sure.
I'm sure you would know.
Yeah, 4 times before lunchtime.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you, Lucy, for all that.
Yep.
Thank
Again,
you.
April 30th, we'll have, 6 weeks with it running. So we'll have a better idea of what it's going to look like, going forward.
Okay. Thank you, Lucy. All right. So I do want to welcome Kelly to our meeting, and also Tanya, our new co-chair. Welcome.
Sorry, guys. I came from Baltimore, so I was trying to get here. I told her that I'd be a little late.
No worries. We knew you were going to come later, and your part hasn't come up yet, so you're just in time. So, okay. So at this time, we're going to do our presentation related to attendance. This is a good time to do this presentation in that it was the end of the year last month, right? So you're getting a fresh start to a new year. And so we want to do a quick little refresher on attendance requirements. It's not only important for the full council meeting, but also our committee meetings. So I'm going to hand it off to Terry to do our attendance information.
Bear with me while Jen, I want to make sure I give Jen her full credit because she created this report for you and planned on being here, but something came up, and so I am pinch hitting for her. So if you don't like it, blame her. No, just kidding. Just kidding, Jen. Okay. So here is, sorry, she did such a nice job formatting. I wanted to give you the full experience. Okay, so hopefully you can all see the attendance policy. I'm just going to read this. This is what's in our bylaws, the attendance policy at planning council meetings. Planning council members are expected to attend planning council meetings. Attendance at meetings is defined as being present for at least 50% of the meeting. The time is scheduled to run. So for most meetings, that's 1 hour. If you can't make it both, the front half or the back half, if you could show up for part of the meeting or like an hour in between, whatever, that still counts and that helps us. Any member who incurs 3 or more consecutive absences or 4 total absences in any grant year will be considered to have resigned. The planning council members who are unaffiliated consumers who occur 3 consecutive absences or 5 total absences will also be considered to have resigned. And just to, I don't know if she gets to this, but I mean, one of the reasons why attendance is important is that because you're a member, your attendance counts towards quorum. And so if you are not attending meetings on a regular basis and you are unable to attend, please let us know, because we can work with you, and we are trying to be creative and thinking about ways to make sure that everyone who wants to participate can participate without it being overwhelming or without it getting in the way of the other things that they need to take care of. Okay, nope. And so this is a tool that's really helpful for a lot of folks because things come up and planning council might not be something that you can really focus on or give any time, energy, or emotion to. And so you have the option of taking a leave of absence at any point in time. And again, this is in the bylaws. Any member requesting a leave of absence shall submit their leave of absence in writing to the chair and co-chair of the membership or bylaws committee. Honestly, and just it says this is how it is. You could also email Jen and I, and we could forward that to them. You know, I just had a meeting about it really quickly and informed Manu and Roseanne ahead of this meeting about someone who had requested a leave of absence. It may not be less than 1 month. It may not exceed 4 months. No more than one leave of absence during any 12-month period will be granted. Persons not returning at the end of 4 months will be considered to have resigned, and a follow-up letter will be sent to confirm this. A leave of absence shall be granted. A leave of absence shall be granted without restriction. So once you ask for one, nobody can just say no. And the number for quorum will be adjusted. And so when you take a leave of absence, you're still in the planning council, but you're just waiting, until you're in a better place to come back and join us. And that helps us with attendance because we don't have to look for as many people as we normally would. And it helps us be in compliance because we still have you on the roster. So a leave of absence is a really great tool. Resignation. A member shall have the responsibility of notifying the planning council chair or vice chair and the executive membership bylaws chair of her resignation in writing. Individuals are encouraged to consider adequate representation of the constituency when deciding between a leave of absence and a resignation. So if you don't have to quit and you think it might come back, then maybe suggest a leave of absence. I would also suggest too that if you have a situation where you can't make any of these work within your needs, these policies, maybe you took a leave, you're ready to come back, and then something else happened, talk to your planning council chair and your membership and bylaws chair, because we want to keep people, engaged, and we want to work with you to the extent that we can and that you are willing to work with us. And so in summary, inform Jen if you need a leave of absence ahead of time. And I was teasing Jen, it's like a vampire rule. Like we have to be invited in. So please let us know. Like a lot of people think that they've told us about a health problem or whatever, but for us, it's not clear on whether or not that means you can't come or don't want to come, or like, we just really need to know from you that that's something that you think is a good fit for whatever you have going on. And again, for affiliated members, the absence policy is a little more rigid than it is for unaffiliated consumers. 3 absences or 4 total is grounds for dismissal. And unaffiliated consumers, it's 3 consecutive absences or 5 total. And the other thing that we ask is just keep in touch with us. Like, just let us know what's going on. You don't have to give us too many details, but just kind of let us know that you know where you're at with being able to take part in planning council meetings and activities. And if you take a leave of absence, and we'll try to keep your support informed. And that's it. That's all I have. And if you all have questions, I recommend you ask them now. Does anyone have any questions about the attendance policy, comments, concerns?
I don't see any questions.
Very good.
Don't. And also want to welcome Jose to our meeting. We look like we have a good full meeting today. So good attendance, everyone. Okay. So let's go right into let me just make sure there's no one. Yeah, no, there was no other questions. So we don't have any old business. So we're gonna skip that one and go right into our new business. All right, so we have not done a presentation of the assessment of the administrative agent, which is something that the QUISP committee takes on and then reviews. So at this time, we're going to share with you what that assessment showed us, and then we're going to let you know what the QUISP committee recommended so we can have a vote on that. So I'm going to give it back to Terry to give us a quick overview of what the assessment.
I apologize, everyone. I don't like being a meeting hog, but sometimes it just happens. Okay. So every year we are required, this is one of our legislative requirements. Every year we have to pause and think about how did the contracting process go? And we have to have conversations with everyone who is funded to receive Ryan White funding about whether or not they understood what they're being asked for in terms of what Ryan White requires, how quickly the process happens, and how readily we're able to provide answers to questions. And so this is a quick overview, purpose, method, questions. I kind of talked about that a little bit. There's 3 sub areas of this that are we're required to talk about. It's procurement, which if you're not familiar with that language, procurement just basically means the process of getting the money from the original funding source out to the providers. Contract management is how we're able to describe what they're going to do with that money. So what does the contract say they have to do? How good are providers at maintaining whatever it says in their contract? And then lastly, technical assistance. Who and how are these questions answered, and who can, how quickly can a provider get the information they need about what they can and can't do with the funds? So we usually use the same process every year. The responses are confidential. They're not anonymous. And the reason they're confidential is because, somebody on my team usually will run through the questions. So like, there's no way that we can make sure that all the providers are participating and then say they're anonymous because they're just not. So they're confidential. And if anyone says anything, we try not to, if anyone says anything, like, we try not to, we're not going to come here and tell you what each individual provider said. That's what we mean by confidential. The survey is, we usually want it administered over the phone. We had a little bit of a rough time this year making sure everyone could participate. So we actually did do 1 or 2 online. I don't love doing data collection that way because people never really fully read questions and they'll not answer the way that we need them to answer. And so that results in missing data, which I don't love. But we did this through the summer, July and August of last year, and we did get information from 100% of our providers, which is a great response rate. So there were 13 providers, staff at various levels participated. We emailed them a copy of the survey, and we asked each agency to make sure that they read the questions and asked the questions to whoever it was at the agency that could answer. It's not good data if we email somebody, they can't answer any of the questions, and we get 13 questions back with, I don't know, I'm not the right person to answer this question. So we try to use a process that eliminates that possibility. Still, we had some agencies where, like, most people were still new, and even if they were able to ask people, they weren't able to ask the person who was responsible the year before who could answer that question. So sometimes it still wasn't, sometimes we're still missing little data points here or there. And so anytime you show anybody data, you should always be suspicious if they don't tell you what the limitations of the data are. And so the data limitations are as follows. Again, I just mentioned this, even though we ask people to make sure they try, there's still a possibility that we're not going to get the answers to the questions we want because the people who really, truly know those answers aren't available or aren't at the agency anymore. A lot of people do some interpreting and creative interpreting. So sometimes that can cause some strange answers that are perplexing to the committee. Some of the answers may have been influenced by the way that we collected the data. So like I said, I don't really love doing, we don't do it as a survey because people don't answer the questions. Like if people say something negative, the committee really wants to know why they're making that answer. And because that's an uncomfortable thing to do, sometimes agencies just skip that. And then sometimes the answers may have been influenced by their relationship with the evaluator or the funder. So these are the key findings that we had from administering this process. And we usually try to compare to years before because I feel like to hand you these numbers and say this is what we found it feels a little pointless unless you kind of have a way to think about it. So again, Not a lot of change. We did like review this data for statistical significance. I don't think there was any significant changes between 2021, 2022 and 2022, 2023. And so just, all right, so procurement, these are all questions about procurement. Basically, like, you know, one of the questions we didn't ask in 2021, 2022, and then maybe slight declines, but like I said, not significant. And again, you know, some of the declines are likely related to the fact that we had a lot of turnover in the last few years in terms of program administration. Contract management, again, the first question wasn't asked in the previous, so there's no difference there. Payments to agencies, to be fair, a lot of people in this room have no clue when the payments come in, so that there's no change in that. Same with contract management, explanation of program reporting requirements, 4.3, and it's out of a 5-point scale. Staff is respectful, and recipient response to questions about programmatic issues, which I don't really know why we didn't ask that in 2021, 2022, but here we are. And then this is the third item, which is technical assistance. And there was a little increase from 2021, 2022 in technical assistance. So that's why that's highlighted. But again, likely not statistically significant. So pretty much things are the same, and they're rather high on a 5-point scale. The strengths highlighted in the comments were great communication. The recipient is always supportive and responsive. The program functions like a well-oiled machine, allowing agencies to meet the needs of clients. And the county does a good job of keeping things simple, meaning that the requirements are not a burden. Yeah, and I'll just, yeah. And then there were areas of improvement that people mentioned. Somebody asked that payments requested the payment. Somebody who completed the survey asked if they could be notified when the payments were received, which is what I mentioned earlier. And I'm gonna let Lucy discuss those things. And then there were suggestions or confusion around the contract negotiation process. And so I'm gonna let Manu talk about the
recommendations.
Yes.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions on anything before I go into our recommendation? No.
Any questions about the report or the process or what it means or anything like that?
So Terry stopped on this slide, which is excellent because, oh, Terry is not having anymore. Sorry.
I can put it back.
Oh, please do. Thank you. So the quiz committee reviewed these results a little while ago. Oh, yeah, the one where it's the two. Yes, there you go, right there. So the quiz committee reviewed these slides a while ago, and our recommendation is that the Middlesex County office address these two items that you see on your screen at a providers meeting, which should be coming up in the next few months since we're in a new contract year. So not so much to do those things, but to address those issues because we're not 100% sure that we want those things or agree with those things, but they should be addressed since they were areas that were brought up by the providers. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why was those questions brought up?
Like those issues.
Those issues. Can you explain more about it? That's what I want to know.
I don't want to speak for the providers. I've just heard this presentation 3 times, and the way we're understanding it is that there is a program person at a site who wants to be notified when their agency is paid. And I assume, Lucy, that's not a normal process because when an agency is paid, the financial person is the one who would be notified of that. Is that accurate?
No. So, well, a number of things happen when billing is submitted to us, when an agency signs a purchase order, they tell us where they want the check to go. So we don't make that decision. They respond, they tell us where they want the check to go. Because we don't send the checks out, there's a whole process through the, comptroller's purchasing department, the county commissioners, we don't even know when the checks are mailed out. So that's not something we would know. Joe submits it for payment and then it's paid. Like that's kind of where his piece of it stops. So we don't know when the checks are mailed out, but it's mailed out. The checks are mailed to who the agency tells us, like the office the agency tells us it should go to.
Thank you. So it seems like this is a specific request that this person wants to be notified. Perhaps they have to work that out internally, but again, this is something that we're recommending that Lucy address at the next meeting. The second issue, how we understand it, is that so we're in the third year of a 3-year cycle, and the first year when you do a competitive application is when the providers are informed how much they're getting, what services that they're going to be offering. From year to year, I think the recommendation is that there's an opportunity to negotiate that. So you're not guaranteed the same amount every year, but things may change from year to year as far as what services you want to offer, things like that. So I think the request is that the organization has an opportunity to negotiate once they're given the award. Does that make sense? Okay.
Makes perfectly good sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I'm reading. Honestly, we don't have like a way to follow up with whoever wrote this to say this is what they mean, but having heard it 3 times, this is how I'm understanding it. So again, this is something that Lucy can address at a meeting. I think we are going to be voting on this. So is there any other discussion, question? Please understand, we're not voting to make any changes. We're voting to have this conversation with the providers. All right, if that is it, I think we might be ready to vote. This is roll call or just yay and nay? Terry.
Oh yeah, I think I don't know. I'll just do a roll call vote just to make sure.
Okay.
Because I'm not clear and I don't want to mess up for Jen. So Roseanne Marone.
Yes.
Okay. Manu Christian.
Yes.
John Marcinkevich.
Abstain.
Jay Gavin.
Yes.
B. Franklin.
Yes.
Kathleen Donahue.
Yes.
Jose Roman.
Yes.
Cheryl. I can't tell if she's frozen or not. Cheryl, if you could type that in the chat, that would be helpful. Siobhan Cato.
Yes.
Kelly Fowler. Okay, thank you. Kareem's not here. Tanya Williams.
Yes.
And Vanessa Herrera.
Yes.
Okay. Approved. Motion passes.
Thank you, Terry.
I feel like we
Thank you.
didn't make a motion, right? We didn't make a motion, but we did vote. So forgot about that.
Thank you. Okay, so the next item to discuss is recruitment. Does anybody have anything to share around recruitment? Anything that they've tried? Anything they're planning on doing?
I had 3 clients who expressed an interest in attending this. I haven't seen any of them here in the last 2 months, but they all said they wanted to attend. So I've been in touch with Terry and Jen about who they are. So.
Thank you, Steve. Roseanne, I don't know if your hand is up.
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Maybe mentorship and outreach will have some more to say about that because I think you guys are going to be talking about the live flyer again, right? Yeah. Okay, no, we can wait on that when you guys have your committee report. I just have to I wanted to add that sometimes timing is everything too. So we had an influx of clients last year around the summertime even, and I remember trying, like, they were all new and I was like, yes, this is going to be exciting energy. Let me invite them all. And clearly some of them had a lot they were working through. So it wasn't good timing at that time. And so I happened to run across some of those new clients again recently in the last week or so. And it's been like 8 months. So they're telling me about how their lives have changed um, for the good, right? And so I revisited planning council with them, and I actually got 2 people to say yes, put me on the list. Now, I'm not saying they went and did an application or anything, but at least it was more than what I had, like, months ago. And so sometimes I think even the people that you guys may have talked to before, maybe things have changed and you might want to revisit conversations with them. In fact, one of the people I talked to said, I had a hard time with my diagnosis, and I am getting to a point where I've gotten a lot out of this process and I'd like to give back. So, like, I feel like then I was like, oh, planning council. Like, let me talk to them about that, So hopefully something like that you guys will come across too, and you can recruit that way.
That's great.
All right, I think this is a standing agenda item. If there's nothing else for folks to share, we can move on. We always want to be talking about recruiting. Okay, I think we're moving on. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go into committee reports, and the first one is the executive. And I actually have no idea who's supposed to present. Is that Roseanne? Because that was your last one, Roseanne? Or do you want me to speak on it? I do believe Tanya wasn't present. That's why I don't want to put her on the spot. It has to be between you or me. I can talk about it.
Right, you could, if you want to talk about it, go ahead, and I'll do membership and bylaws. This way we'll start our transition.
Perfect. Okay. Very little to present with the executive because some of the other topics from the other committees it's overlapping with the executive. So I'll just mention that we did have a long conversation about attendance, which is we had the attendance presentation as a result of that. So that's good. We did talk also about the emergency financial assistance standards of care, which I'll be talking more in detail about in the QUIST report out. So we did have that conversation at executive. And then finally, there's a few of us that chair multiple committees. And then it was becoming kind of like some people are doing a lot of committee chairing. So we kind of reshifted those chairs. That's why we had the confusion between me and Roseanne just now, because we want to make sure that, it's kind of spread out a little bit. So that was another conversation at executive. And that's it. That's it for executive. Our next meeting is March 20th. So membership and bylaws, Roseanne.
Roseanne, you're muted.
You're muted.
I got it. Thank you. Again, that meeting, we talked about, a little bit about EFA and, oh wait, I got the wrong thing up. Never mind, hold on. I'll be all right. So at the membership and bylaws meeting, again, we talked about the, the need to continue to recruit and the importance of that. So there was further discussion about possibly, redoing the video. And Lucy is working with her supervisor, Melissa, to try to get their fellow county counterparts from Somerset County at least. So we did, as a follow-up to this idea of the recruitment, I did email the video and the membership application to Hyacinth, and they said they would share it at the support groups. So, and we did spend time updating the bylaws. Again, term limits and chair emeritus, so we have some ongoing work. As a committee to go over that, and Lucy has to go through the county, and we had to develop some new language. So we did we continue to focus on the recruitment and the bylaws so we can sustain the number of members that we have and recruit new ones. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Roseanne. The next meeting for you guys is March 20th also. Okay, so for QUISP, we had our meeting, I forgot now, a few weeks ago at this point. There was a few things that came up. First was Joe did a fiscal report, and as this was the end of the year, he informed us that we're looking very good and that we are projecting to be completely spent by the end of the year, which is really good news. We did not have quorum at our meeting, so we were supposed to vote on the updates made to the emergency financial assistance standards. We were not able to do that at the meeting due to a lack of quorum. So we emailed out the standards to the committee members and we requested a vote via email, which did have quorum. And when I took it to executive and we were reviewing it, there was a couple of executive members who asked some really good questions, and we realized that the way that we had written up the standard and emailed out to our committee members did not reflect what was discussed. So there was like a little discrepancy there. And so we need to take it back to committee, in other words, to make sure that the committee members are voting it the way that we had discussed it, because it didn't look like that in the written. So unfortunately, we have to go back to discussing that this month, and hopefully by next month we can bring it up for voting. And that's basically it for QUISP. Our next meeting is March 19th. Thank you. Mentorship and Outreach Committee is next.
Okay, so mentorship and outreach, Mac. We talked about we had attendance, everybody was there. And we met, we talked about the meeting regarding quiz, which you just explained. No need to talk about it. We had questions regarding quiz and what was going on regarding the EFA. But Jen had already told us that y'all didn't meet already. So John went over what the issues was, the standards and everything. After that, John also mentioned having a committee to mirror my voice committee in the past to allow members to have a voice. New business was a theme, so we all discussed doing a theme for the year. Jen spoke about creating a theme for the year and an idea that Terry emailed to the committee for consideration. This was discussed and will be discussed in March. Jen also asked about changing the date of the meeting going forward. She will ask Terry and send out an email to discuss moving the meeting going forward. I've mentioned about getting started hosting a subcommittee, getting people to join a subcommittee for the World AIDS Day. And Jen asked maybe we could talk about it at the planning council meeting to put fillers out if any other members had any interest on joining the membership committee. Jen also mentioned working with the live flyer and would like to work that into our work plan. John and I discussed receiving an email from someone that is interested. And so we talked receiving an email helping for the World AIDS Day. Jen requested if they can get them to the meeting, it would be hopeful they could be a potential members. And also in that meeting, we talked about if any case managers wanted to refer any clients, they could probably reach out to us in an email and we could probably get in contact with the clients. if the client is interested in knowing more about it, we can probably talk to him about it as well. Kathleen talked about having issues signing in and not having a mouse. So Jen said she would talk to Terry about it. The committee asked for directions. So that was that meeting that we had at the hotel at the place. Old business was Jen asked about having another plans. We talked about the transgender coming in and speaking. Jen, Terry knew about it, a person that wanted to come in and talk about it, present at one of our meetings. Jen mentioned that Terry was speaking about the story slam. And John said that Michael Hager would speak, or everybody went to the day of recognition. So that's basically what we talked about. And the meeting was adjourned.
Thank you, Tanya. Any questions for Tanya? No. All right. And
Tanya,
that concludes. Sorry, go ahead, John.
I just wanted to thank Tanya for the report on that.
Oh, John, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm here.
Thank you.
That's what mattered. I'm here.
All right. And you guys have your meeting next week, March 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, our committee reports are complete. Can we have a public forum? Anybody have anything to share or talk about? Yes, Terry, go ahead.
I do, and I apologize. It's another presentation, but I think you'll appreciate this one because even at today's meeting, but what's been happening a lot is that people are unable to get into the meeting, and then they're texting me or Jen after we're already in the meeting, and we hate the idea of people waiting on us to join the meeting. So I just want to give you 3 different ways really quick to make sure that you can get in the meeting and try out some links, because we have a process in place, but I understand it's not always clear to people. And I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna share. Hopefully can you guys see which PowerPoint can you see?
Yeah, I can see it. I can find the
It's
link.
a plum one.
Good. That's the one
Says
I
I
like.
can't find the link.
Yes. Yes. And that is the way I have titled this PowerPoint. I'm not going to put it in full screen. I'm just going to go through it really quickly. So the first way that we invite you all to join these meetings and send you the links is through calendar invites. Now, it has occurred to us recently that some of you are not using the calendar invites, and so you're all confused. And Jen and I are always confused because we know we send the invites out. But so basically, whenever we create a meeting, we go into our own calendar and we have the option of inviting you by email to join the meeting, and that will send you the whole invitation to the meeting with the links and the phone numbers onto your calendar, whatever calendar you use. Now, if you're not at work, you might not use your calendar, so you might not see it. Or if you are at work, it might go to the wrong calendar. So we just wanted you to know that this is part of the process of informing you of where our meetings are and how to get into meetings. And if that's not working, we can go over it with you. I just went over it with somebody this week, and it's somebody who attends lots of meetings all the time, but for whatever reason, the calendar invite either wasn't getting to the right calendar or they didn't know about it or whatever. I'm not really sure. I don't know all the mechanisms why it didn't work, but I did want you all to know that is something that Jen and I usually think happens, but it doesn't matter if you all aren't used to using that method. The second method is as the Planning Council website. We went through it with a fine-tooth comb. I actually just updated it because the Planning Council link, I don't know, it wasn't there. But now the link is there. And so if you were to go to our Planning Council website and you would click on the events page, like if you were there tonight, you would see our Planning Council meeting. Then you would double click on where it says Planning Council meeting and page down to the bottom, and there's a hyperlink right there to the Zoom. So you should be able to use that as well. And then a third method, and these all methods are besides having it in the body of an email. is that at the top of every single meeting that we have that's virtual, we put the link, and it is a hyperlink. You can see it's blue right there, and you should be able to click on that as well. So I just wanted to review this with everybody. I think it's helpful because we're all always doing a million things at once, and there's multiple ways to get into a meeting. Honestly, there's a fourth way, and that would be for you to log on to Zoom and just type in the meeting number. Go ahead, Dennis.
The meeting link is always the same for this meeting.
Yeah, that's a good point too, right?
So if you have an old one, you can still use, it's still the same link.
Yeah, and what happens too sometimes with the calendar invites is that somebody will get the calendar invite and it's next week and they can't go to that meeting, so they'll say no, and then they never copy the rest of the invitations, because the invitation is good indefinitely, and we have the ability on our end to modify when the meetings are for those times that you all change the meeting schedule. And so if there is no meeting invite, on your calendar, there is a chance that the meeting's not taking place. And you could use these other ways of confirming. You could also text us too. I'm not saying you can't try and get in touch with me and Jen, but we're not always immediately available, and you can try these other methods first. Any other questions about that? Tanya, go ahead.
Yeah, when I try to do it on the meeting keep going. It's the same link. I still have a problem with it. The only way I was able to get in was because you sent it to me, and I have the calendar, but it still won't. It won't come up like that on my phone. It doesn't come up. But when you send it to me like that, it does. Now I'll take and put it on my calendar, and I'll press the button. It won't do it. It won't. So that's why I be like, I can't seem to get on the meeting. I can't seem to get on the meeting. But you told me now that I can go on to the website, and I'll try that way.
Yeah, I'm the other thing for anyone who still want, because I personally, I really need the calendar invite. I need my calendar blocked if I need to be somewhere else. I live by it. So we're willing to do a tutorial with anybody that needs it about and we can watch and see what's happening, and maybe we can figure out why the links aren't working for you sometimes. But we need to do that outside of before, well before our meeting's supposed to start, or maybe after a meeting, we could do that too.
Thank you. Anything else for public forum? Ed, are you raising? Sorry, I think Ed was raising his hand.
Yeah,
No?
He did.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment about the calendar thing because I didn't realize that on my email on a sidebar, I do have the ability to have the calendar displayed as well. So it was always off. So the notifications were going into my calendar. I wasn't seeing them. So after a brief conversation with Terry, I have my calendar up. It's great. Every time I open my email, there's the calendar for the day. So it's much more helpful for me, and it's great because when it's in your calendar and you click on the link, like Terry said, this Zoom link is right there. So I definitely benefited from that little piece of information. See, we're never too old to learn.
And imagine that 3 years ago, we weren't even thinking about this.
Yeah, right.
We're just driving to our meeting. All right. So if there's nothing else, I just wanted to share this email. I'm not sure if anybody paid attention to this email from Nahid around ADDP and ViV. Did you guys see all of that? I think it's
it's kind of important because
yeah,
you're not going to cover any of, and a lot of people are on those medications. So
yeah, let me just let everyone know, because I didn't get, not everyone was shaking their head. So the notice says that if you are on Medicare and PAD, that if you, and also on a medication that's covered by ViV is no longer working with PAD. So those clients on a ViV medication needs to apply for ADDP, and there's a list of them. They're like the combo drugs with Gilead and some other company, right? So I can pull up the
even
medication list.
Casanova is on it. Cabanuva's on it as well on the list.
Yeah.
Cabanuva is definitely on it. So I think because my PAAD clients tend to be very stable, but now they have an additional process of having to do ADDP. So I think if if anybody has Medicare and PAD, you need to reach out to a case manager to help you with the ADDP. And also case managers, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Did everybody get the email? I can forward it to.
I
Yeah,
have a
okay.
question. I have a client that he's literally on 15 different medications. And he's on some of the ViiV medications. He's on PAD right now. But can he be on both of those programs? He can. Okay, so I could
Yes, that's
split
how I
that
read
up.
it. You
Yeah,
have to
that's
do an
what the letter
additional
says.
application. So
Yeah,
now you have
I wanted to make sure because he's a very volatile, nervous kind of person, and I just want to, give him some assurances that he's going to be covered. So
No, the
absolutely.
letters.
So the ADAP is payer of last resort. If PAD does not cover the medication, ADAP will step in and pay for it.
right.
Yeah.
But
They
I
have
just
to
wanted
keep
to
it
make
interesting
sure that
for
he
us.
didn't have to switch everything over to ADAP. It's going to be like a dual coverage. Okay,
Yep.
thank you. I just wanted to confirm that.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. If there's nothing else for public forum, we do not have a Part B update because Lara is not present. Are there any agency or community announcements? Yeah, I think Dennis, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to make a quick announcement because this is the last few weeks I've been inundated with Robert Wood Johnson Dental. They changed their policy there. So any client that you have that's going to Robert Wood Johnson Dental, they may have had a visit and then they're coming back for the follow-up. They need new forms, new docs, the what is it, 499 referral, and the demographic page from CareWare and updated labs. And the issue I'm having is they're calling me the day before the appointment. So I have no time to get the lab. So I've had to cancel, unfortunately, a couple of the appointments. So we wrote an email to Vanessa today to see if there's something we can do so we can find out, at least for the VNA, who's scheduled for a follow-up. So we don't find the day before, find out the day before, and then we scramble to try to get the stuff put together. So I just wanted to make people aware of that, the case managers that might be using Robert Wood Johnson Dental.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
Oh,
No. Oh,
yeah, so, yeah, so our community health worker, Alberto, he now, resigned from our program. So, the position is posted. I don't have the posting yet. Moom is supposed to share it. It's for a full-time Spanish-speaking community health worker. So they would be working directly, with Muma, who runs the testing and prep program. So if anybody knows anybody, let me know, and I can, I will try to get the job posting from the Rutgers system instead of just going on there. But it is called community health worker. It's not traditional community health worker like the way we had it for care and treatment. This is HIV, testing and prevention community health worker. And they would do testing in the hospital and at, meaning in the hospital, we do it in the emergency room and the peds clinics, and then at different events.
thank you. All right, I think
Sorry. I
Go
just
ahead.
want to make sure everybody knows that Catherine Anatali is on maternity leave till the end of August, a 6-month leave. She's expecting twins in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
So, Evelyn, is there most weeks, 3 days a week, if not 4 days. And then, when she's not available, then O'Daly and I are covering, and we're trying to hire another, per diem nurse to help us cover the patients.
Okay, thank you. All right. I don't think there is anything else, nobody else. If there's nothing else, I would like to entertain a motion for adjourning. Yes. Anybody? I can't make the motion. Okay, thank you. Roseanne. Roseanne makes a
Yes, I
motion to
will
adjourn.
make a
Anybody?
motion, make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Jose is quick. I see him.
Second.
Go ahead, Jose. I saw the unmute real quick. All right. Thank you, guys. Meeting is adjourned at 7:23. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Take
Bye
care.
now.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Stay dry.
Sherry, I have a question.
Okay, yeah, I stayed on just to make sure. Bye, Roseanne. Bye, Kathleen.
Kathleen, bye.
Is your mouse working, Kathleen?
How's the mouse?
It's working great.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I'm a mouse person myself. I'm all about the mouse.
Yeah.
I
Bye-bye.
definitely think the mouse
Have
is
a good
easier.
weekend.
You too, Kathleen.
Oof,
Yes, ma'am.
I just had a sneezing fit. Oh my God. Okay, so are you gonna stop your recording?
Yes.
I was going to